This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and this is the Action 5 Pro. Two entirely different cameras, but which one is actually worth it? So we're going to do a little bit of a stabilization test, and I thought why not give it a little bit of a walk and see how the rock steady is performing in the Action 5 Pro and how the gimbal actually works when you're just walking with it on the Pocket 3. Something that I am noticing is that when you're turning like this, the gimbal is drifting a little bit. I think you could put it into sports mode and that would probably be a non-issue. But let's see what happens when we start to run, because that's going to be the most interesting part. I think that both of these cameras are going to do really well, but I do have a feeling that the Action Pro will be the winner in this test. Wow! I really need to move more. It's like, do you know how much mass it is to put in motion here? 111 kilos. It's not easy. But once we have the momentum going, it feels better. Hello.
Hey.
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 I'm testing two cameras here.
Yes, and I'm in that one.
And this one.
And that one.
Yes. Do a little bit of talking here and we're gonna test the audio.
Yes, how are you today? It's very nice to see you both cameras. I hope you are well.
What är wise words då?
Don't forget to paint your house before the winter comes.
Det var bra.
Cornbread, picked red onion, deep frozen strawberry, panbeef in Swedish, rice and curry, chili sauce, sausage, champignons for the health, no sugar, mustard, Pepsi, cola, no sugar.
We are at it again, va? I'm definitely noticing the limitations of the Osmo Pocket 3 whenever I'm doing these kind of videos and you're out shooting, trying to get some action-packed shots. I am scared about the camera and the gimbal on this camera, but I'm not scared about this camera at all because I know that we can replace the actual lens protector. This camera feels way more fragile, which is not that strange because it is actually more fragile. It's more of a vlog camera rather than an action camera, and that's also why I think that putting these two to the test side by side, it's kind of an unfair comparison, but it's also a valid comparison because a lot of people that are out buying cameras, especially now for the fall, might be looking into getting one of these cameras mainly because they want to have the simple vlog style kind of feeling vibe and the shallow depth of field when you're moving close to the camera, and that is something that you're not getting on the Action 5 Pro. For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the gimbal movements when it comes to the Pocket 3. I think it looks artificial, and I do think that the Rocksteady on the Action 5 does a better job of imitating the handheldness of a real camera without actually making it look too artificial. I'm also well aware that this is not the ideal situation to test these cameras out, but I also kind of wanted to prove my point that with the action camera you don't have to be afraid to do these kind of stuffs that I'm doing with the quad, but that is something that you gotta be cautious of when you're using the Pocket 3. feature that we got on both of these cameras is subject tracking on the Action 5, which is basically cropping in on the image to track me in the frame. This means that you're going to lose a little bit of the resolution since it's only recording in 2.7K instead of 4K. But with the Osmo Pocket, you have the face tracking, and it is very good, but it does reach a couple of endpoints on the gimbal that I've noticed when you try it out. So if you walk too far to this side, it's going to cut off right there. But then when you move back into frame, it starts to track you again. But I've been having both of these cameras for over a year now, and I'm going to be honest and say that I've never used the face tracking feature on the Osmo Pocket and never used the subject tracking on the Action 5. It's definitely a nice feature to have in both cameras, but I do think when it comes to the actual tracking, the Pocket 3 is going to be the winner here. Mainly because you retain the entire resolution of the 4K frame, and on the Action 5 you crop it. So after looking through all the footage and editing this entire video, I have some thoughts. I don't know if you saw what I saw, but I think that the overall image quality and dynamic range on the Action 5 Pro felt a lot better than what it did on the Pocket 3. What I did notice though, that as soon as I entered a low light scenario, for example when we went inside to my dad's kitchen, or when I was in the forest and there was trees all around, then the Pocket 3 was definitely the winner. But basically all the other scenarios, the Action 5 Pro, in my opinion, looked the best. And I was also kind of surprised that the audio of the Action 5 Pro is much clearer, much crisper, and better to reduce the noise than the audio that is coming out of the Pocket 3. But this might also be because you have two different microphones, because you have one microphone here and then one microphone here up top as well. And I was mainly shooting with Pocket 3 in this kind of setup where I had the display pointed away from me. I know that one of the biggest selling points of the Pocket 3 is to have a gimbal in a small pocketable format. But one thing that I'm noticing whenever I'm shooting with this is that you can't get away from the bobbing motion of the slight up and down that comes when you're holding such a small camera. Because as soon as you do like this, that's going to be visible in the shot. And when I was shooting the B-roll off the quad, I found the Action 5 to be a lot easier to shoot with. Pocket 3 felt like you had to be so far away in order to be able to frame the shot. And that brings us into my final point, which is the wide angle. I really like the wide angle of the Action 5. It's much more versatile than what the Pocket 3 is. You can throw this in an FPV. You can use this as a vlogging camera. You can put it down in small spaces. You can have this when you're going to ski. You can jump into the pool with this. I know that this camera excels on a bunch of different things, such as having this as a backup camera whenever you want to mount something to your car and do some following shots of another car. This is a camera, in my opinion, that you use if you're a cameraman. If you want to be behind the camera, you want to be able to frame the shots and get the best kind of shots and utilize the shallow depth of field that this camera provides. The Action 5 Pro is more of a point and shoot camera that will be perfect for pretty much everything that involves action and vlogging and wanting to have the ease of use of a simple camera that's going to give you a good looking image in basically all the different scenarios that I've tried. But those are just my thoughts, and again, I would love to hear what you think in the comments down below, because this is probably going to be a heated discussion, and I'm all for it, va? Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and if you want to see more of these kind of comparisons without any sort of sponsorship and just me having fun testing out these different kind of cameras and tech and whatever it might be, just follow along and drop comments and all that good stuff, va? Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye.